Solitoma is as awful as I remember. I'd hoped I'd never have to drink it again.
Are you alright, Eleanor?
Is this your second experience with the Corsair Scourge?
No, I had it for a different reason. In the Abbey, it's tradition for initiates to drink Solitoma as part of their welcoming festivities.
Sounds like hazing to me.
When everyone shares the same experience, drinking something so shockingly revolting, our bonds are strengthened. It's a good thing.
If you say so.
I really did believe I'd never have to taste it again. To be blunt, I hate it.
You're lucky you think it tastes so terrible. That means you also know what tastes good. Right, Velvet?
What does that mean?
Velvet can't taste anything aside from blood.
What? Is that because she's a demon?
I'm aware of one other flavor. Mogulu, here's your dose of Solitoma.
No!
Get back here!
Don't! Keep that salad away from...
I see. The sweet taste of another suffering. Why does it seem like everyone around me is completely mad?
Yeah! Continuing to fight when you know you'll lose just is insane!
Would you stand around and watch your comrade die just because you're scared?
I wouldn't want to, but getting myself killed wouldn't save anyone either.
Yes, it would be illogical to fight.
Is being illogical really that bad?
Well...
At the Empyrean's throne, I remember Velvet standing, despite the horrible pain she felt. Rokuro is training with all his heart in order to defeat his brother Shigure. And Kurogane used up his own head to forge a powerful blade.
None of that is very logical.
Yeah, I don't know quite how to put it, but I think it's all amazing. Aren't you forgetting someone? Magilu is traveling with us, even though she doesn't care. And that... Yes, go on. I don't really understand what that's about.
Miss Mogulu, hang in there!
Well, it is amazing in some sense, I suppose.
Hello there. You're headed to Loringen Tower too? Just a bit ago, a brawny, silver-haired man asked me how to get there.
Did he say why he was going there?
Something about meeting some friends of his. Exorcists use that tower to train, right? If he has exorcist friends, then maybe he's one too. But he seemed a bit rough and tumble to be an exorcist. I can't imagine a man like him.
Did he say anything else?
He said someone else might stop by and ask about the tower, and told me to tell him if they do. Did he mean you?
No clue.
So he was planning on us following him. What's he scheming?
You mean Zavid? Or the Abbey?
Both.
Loringen Tower lies beyond the Bernac Plateau.
Blah! If you're gonna set up an obvious trap, couldn't it at least be someplace more convenient?
What's wrong, Lafayette?
I was just wondering why Aizen and Zavid can't work together to find Aifreed. All men their age care about is their reputation, their street cred. Such a hassle. Oh, really?
Well, I can't fully deny it.
The same could be said of women, and of everyone, really. It's hard to work alongside someone unless you strive to understand their thoughts and feelings.
And if you can't?
Well,
It's like Zavid said. You start talking with your fists instead.
Sounds harder than I thought. Aizen!
Did you get the medicine to the ship's crew?
Yeah.
Good. My thanks to you.
These soldiers won't be happy in the morning, but they're alive. Is this your work?
No, they were like this when I got here. It must have been Zavid.
He didn't kill a single one. Interesting.
The Abbey is going to great lengths to arrest him.
Even so, he clearly knows he's walking into a trap. What I don't get is why he roped me into all of this. If he didn't want my help, then what need did he have to play the Ifried card on me?
If you knew this was a trap, why did you come?
To see for myself. When I met Ifried, I was wallowing in despair that I would ever find a way to break the Reaper's curse. Stop denying reality, he told me. If you were really born with that curse, then it's a part of you. But if the Reaper learns to grasp the wheel of his life, even he may find his creed, his path through stormy waters. And so, I joined him aboard the Von Eltia.
A creed of life.
Let's say someone's murdered the captain. If it came as the result of him living life on his terms, I could accept that. But if anyone, and I mean anyone, tries to crush his way of life, I could never forgive them.
Who's there?
It's rude to eavesdrop.
If you got secrets, talk about them at home.
Zavid, isn't there any way you and Eisen can work together somehow?
Not if he's going to keep acting like this.
Well, that's how it is.
What was the point of all that posturing? He could have just stayed hidden. Weirdo.
Can't disagree there.
Loringen Tower's a training ground for exorcists, right?
Yes, it's a great edifice built on ancient ruins.
Laphicet, did you ever go there when you were tethered to Teresa?
I don't really remember the beginning of my service to Teresa.
I see.
What sort of training do they do there?
Exorcists are tested and assigned Malachim equivalent to their aptitude with mana. It's also where they practice Malach arts and study our laws.
So the lower ranks use it as a sparring ground in order to train up to the higher ranks?
No, an exorcist's affinity to mana is not something that strengthens through training. We are given Malachim based on our inborn ability, then learn arts to suit that ability.
So, an orderly is an orderly for life, then?
Correct.
There'd be no spirit of competition then. Don't they want to get stronger, to advance through the ranks?
There'd be no purpose to advancement. Rank signifies nothing more than the type and number of Malachim one can tether. People join the Abbey for only two reasons: to protect people from demons, and to save the world.
Are all of you that dedicated to asceticism?
How sickeningly noble of you.
I wonder if your wills are suppressed just like those of the Malachim you use.
Deviants like you could never possibly understand our motives. In any case, that is who awaits you at Loringen Tower.
So we're in for a rough welcome. I say bring it on. I can't wrap my head around Zavid.
We witnessed his unwillingness to kill before, but it seems he's quite serious about it. Maybe that's why I don't feel scared of him. Even when he and Eisen were about to fight, I didn't feel tense at all. Perhaps that's just because you've been around Velvet a bit too long, kiddo. Next to her, few people are frightening. Do you think so?
Don't ask me.
He doesn't come across as vicious. I think that's why you're not scared.
Because he's just a brawler?
Maybe he's just naive.
Okay, so he's just a naive brawler. He's still involved with Ifried's disappearance, and he's also taking on the Abbey. I just don't get him.
Me neither.
Uh-huh.
I agree, but I don't understand any of you either. I don't get it.
Get what?
Why did Ifried let Eisen join his ship, knowing he carried the Reaper's curse with him? What good did it do? I just don't see the reason behind it.
Well, if it were me who had that curse, it would mean that you and Velvet could die because of it, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
If that's the case, then I'd feel like I'd both want to and not want to be close to you two. And I'd probably really, really hate myself for it.
Do you suppose that's how Eisen feels? But Ifried still took him in. He agreed they'd put up with the curse together.
It's all a bit hard to fathom.
Well, if one thing's for certain, it sounds like Ifrid's a very strong man. At least for a base, lawless pirate.
Aizen, can I ask you about that thing Zavid had?
It belonged to Ifrid, didn't it? I've read much of the Abbey's archives on weaponry, but I've never seen anything like it.
He found it when we crossed to the far continent. It's a relic from a long-vanished civilization. He's like me and can't resist a good treasure. But of everything we've found, that one was his most prized.
What is it?
I can't say. It seemed like a weapon, but Ifrid wouldn't let anyone touch it. He went off and tested it on his own, then came back all grinning, saying he had an ace up his sleeve the next time we got into a fight.
Then it's definitely some sort of ancient combat device? But why is Zavid looking for Ifrid? To apologize for stealing it?
He doesn't seem like that much of a gentleman.
Did he really steal it?
What do you mean?
It's just my feeling, but Zavid doesn't seem like the type of Malak to steal something so precious.
He said he just picked it up. Perhaps he's trying to return it.
Perhaps.
No one on guard. They're really not bothering to hide this trap.
They probably knew we'd sense it. The question now is just what they're planning to spring on us.
Aizen, when and how did Ifrid disappear exactly? And how did you two meet in the first place?
You know, you ask an awful lot of questions about us.
What? I don't mean to pry, really. Perhaps it's a habit I picked up from my work. Drat. It seems I've been digging too hard.
No matter. Ifrid vanished about a year ago. He agreed to fight a duel against someone, and secretly left to meet his opponent. Once we figured out what was happening, we rushed to the scene. But all we found was the aftermath of a fight, and a pendulum.
Was Zavid his opponent?
Given his choice of weapon and his ability to fight, I'd say it's likely.
What I don't get is why Ifrid would end up captured and imprisoned by the Abbey after a fight with a stray Malak.
The Abbey had him prisoner?
On their island. Until an exorcist named Melchior took him away, that is.
What? Lord Melchior did?
The Abbey would have captured Ifrid about a year ago. Surely it must have caused quite a stir.
I was simply patrolling. I wasn't involved in any such operations. Oh, but I do remember that we suffered a great number of casualties around that time. I never heard why, and when I went to investigate, I found no records of any major deployment. And then I was ordered to cease any such investigation by Lord Melchior.
That's fishy.
He wanted to hide something, clearly. And I think I'm starting to get a picture of what it was.
And it involves the Abbey?
Ifrid.
So, this is Von Ifrid.
Aizen, it's good to see you again.
So you're alive. You could have sent a letter.
When have you ever written a letter to another man?
True. Aside from my little brother, not even once.
Your brother? Aizen, why?
I've got no brother. Enough of your tricks!
Thanks for luring him out. I owe you one.
Zavid.
Now come on out, you old coot!
Lord Melchior.
Breaking through my double illusion. Impressive.
I make it a point not to fall for the same tricks twice.
I shouldn't have let you get away last time. I won't make that mistake again.
Why am I here?
Her consciousness has returned, so that is its power.
He turned her into a demon.
What? This can't be happening!
A chain reaction. Your Reaper's curse is quite the dreadful affliction, isn't it?
Don't you run away!
Heads up! Wyvern's coming!
Why would an exorcist create a demon?
Hey, worry about that later. We've got damn dragons to take care of.
Silence! Silence! Take the guy! Right there! Take the head!
Looks like you got caught in your own trap, old man.
Oh, are you sure about that? What the?
I'll take care of the last one.
He just saved the wyvern?
You folks jump in and kill without a second thought. Is that your creed?
Marvelous. Your Siegfried is just the power I've been looking for.
What?
My work here is done.
The hell did you do? Wait, damn you! Follow them!
Where the hell did they go?
Find them. They can't have gotten far.
Damn! He's sure got some speedy legs for an old fart.
I'm glad to see you're okay, Zavid.
It's not me that I'm worried about.
Melchior was highly interested in your weapon. And yet he didn't steal it. Surely a legate like him could snatch it if he wanted to.
Why bother stealing it when you can just copy its hidden formula? Some arts can decipher the workings of other arts in a split second. And guess what Melchior's specialty is?
As he left, he said, "My work here is done."
The Abbey must have some use for that unknown art. Who knows what? After all, they brought it here from another continent.
And we'll find out what they're after and crush it to dust.
Let me ask you just one question. Why do you have Siegfried?
I'm counting on you, he said. Back when I served the Exorcists, they sent me on a mission to capture Eifried.
Zavid, you were once their slave?
Yeah. My mind was under the influence of Inominat's domain. But when Eifried aimed this baby at me, one shot was all it took to open my eyes. The fight we had after that was one for the books. He might have been a human, but that guy was a beast. Put a song in my soul. But then Melchior had to jump in and spirit Eifried away with one of his damned illusions. That old bastard! Playing tricks with people's minds.
But why'd he grab Eifried and not Siegfried when he had the chance?
He probably didn't know at the time that this guy was the real prize he was after. But Eifried knew. Right before he was taken, he distracted Melchior long enough to hand Siegfried over to me. Well, that's all I know. Whether you believe me or not is up to you.
Got it. We're done here.
Huh? That was easy.
Eifried only says I'm counting on you to people he trusts.
Is that so?
So, what are you gonna do now?
Gotta keep looking for Eifried. Still gotta give this back and settle our score.
I doubt you have much time left to get that done.
I'd hazard a guess that until now, Melchior was unaware what Siegfried could really do. In other words, he and the Exorcists weren't able to interrogate anything out of their captive.
And now that Eifried's no longer needed, I see no reason for them to keep him alive.
You think I don't know that?
If you really want to save Eifried, you probably ought to team up with us.
Nope. No can do.
Why not?
You lot will do anything to achieve your goals. Even kill. Sorry, I'm a fighter, not a killer. I won't steal a single life. That's just my creed.
And I've got no intention of changing our pirate creed either.
Eisen and Zavid have their own creeds. They both have such strong principles, even though they're so different.
Just like humans.
Well, that was sure something. Melchior and his illusions are cheats.
There's no cheating in combat.
What I meant is that they were awfully dirty tricks for an upstanding exorcist.
And the illusions seemed so real. Had that gone on any longer, I wouldn't have been able to tell what was real and what was fake.
If it can't be distinguished from reality, perhaps one could live a happier life within the illusion.
That sort of happiness can rot.
You think so?
But by using illusions, you can defeat an opponent without causing them any physical harm.
Oh, how humane. Wow, the Abbey is so great.
Lord Melchior is an exemplary man who has served Lord Artorias since before the Abbey's founding. He's done everything from logistical planning to defense strategy and even political negotiations. He shows the utmost concern, even for his opponents, so...
He turned a friendly Moloch into a dragon.
That was...
Physical wounds can heal. Emotional wounds never fully fade.
Yeah, but...
Don't lose heart, Eleanor. Foul play is foul play, but you're talking to a demon and a witch. Who can judge?
I appreciate that you're trying to console me, but as an exorcist, I cannot accept this.
Whoa! Hot water is spouting out of the mountain!
And look at those rainbows.
This is one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Bernac Geyser. The water heats up from underground until the pressure forces it to spray up from the surface.
And the rainbows are caused by light reflecting from the salts suspended in the mineral water. It took tens of thousands of years for the minerals to accumulate here and form this phenomenon.
Wowee!
That was very educational.
At least you know plenty of trivia, if nothing else.
Additionally, the groundwater veins that feed this geyser are connected to the sea. Because of this, every now and then a boiled octopus or crab will shoot out from the geyser!
No way!
That's impossible. Well, not impossible, but...
With the salt content of the geyser's water, I bet they're seasoned to perfection.
Magilo, I'm declaring your bizarre imagination the 8th wonder of the world.
People say that all the time.
My book! My book! Where could I have left it?
Are you Videl? Is this yours?
My book! Oh, that book is super important to me. Thank you.
I'm Laphicet. I hope you don't mind that we flipped through some of it. Can you actually read Meliodacian script?
You recognize Meliodacian writing? That's unusual in this day and age.
Oh, it's not that big of a deal, really.
When I grow up, I want to be an adventurer who travels the world and explores lots of ruins. So to make sure I'm ready for anything, I've been studying ancient history, starting with the Era of Darkness.
The Era of Darkness? You're referring to the Dark Period, right?
Right. Almost no written records from the age have survived. But if you compare the history before and after, you can tell something major must have happened.
Wow, that's fascinating.
I know!
Look at those two, all worked up over an old book.
My little brother was just like that too. Laffy and our brother used to.
We've received reports of suspicious persons in the area. Have you seen anything?
Not good. They're onto us.
Quickly, hide in my house.
Videl, have you seen anyone suspicious recently?
Sorry, sir. I've been absorbed in my book.
That's all right, thanks. Look, I know it must be tough living alone with your mom. Just remember, your father's a praetor. He's out there fighting to protect us all. Keep your chin up for his sake at least, all right?
Uh-huh.
Thanks for your help, Videl.
Videl, your father is an exorcist?
Yeah, he is. But don't worry, I won't say anything about you and your friends. I'm your friend too.
Really?
And to prove it, I'll let everyone in on a big secret. This book tells you how to make an Omega Elixir, an incredibly ancient and powerful medicine. If I'm reading it right, you need 5 ingredients in order to create the elixir. I've only translated one of them so far, but I'll tell you what it is.
That's really nice of you, Videl. But I don't have any way to repay you for this.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. I'd just like it if you came and talked with me again sometime.
Of course. What are friends for?
The Omega Elixir. That's an ancient medicine said to be able to cure any disease. But it was my understanding that no samples or recipes survived the Era of Darkness.
Meliodacian script was used prior to the Era of Darkness, so I guess it's possible that Videl's recipe might be legit.
He's just a kid. I don't know how much we can trust his translation.
You saw his notes. I doubt many adults could even get anything out of that book. He might be onto something.
Kids are more capable than we give them credit for, especially where their interests lie.
I think we can trust Videl.
Laufey used to read books intently like that, too.
Furthermore, couldn't a hypothetical Omega Elixir be quite useful to you, Velvet?
Laufey, you look like you really want to track down those ingredients.
Yeah, I do.
Personally, I don't really care. But if you want to look for them, I won't stop you.
Okay.
This big storm came and swept me out to a Class 4 island, and let me tell you, it's as bad as the rumors make it sound. I wanted to just wait it out in a shipyard somewhere, but then the water turned all gooey. Then I had these jellyfish things coming onto the deck, and before I knew it, slugs were swimming around in the damn ocean.
Wouldn't the salt in seawater mess up a slug?
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but these weren't no sea slugs neither. It was scary. I'll tell you that much. You want my advice? Stay the hell away from that island altogether. But if you do go, watch out for that gooey stuff.
What did that pirate mean by Class 4? I've never heard of that.
It's a classification the Abbey uses to help inform their strategy, an estimation of how well they've been able to manage the demon outbreak in an area. Administrative Zone Classes 1 through 3 have been assigned a suitable contingent of exorcists to guarantee the population's safety.
So, Class 4 administrative zones are ones that are still unsafe?
In a perfect world, the entire kingdom would be protected, but there's just not enough manpower to go around. The Abbey doesn't send exorcists to remote areas and far-off islands. Instead, they avoid casualties by making those areas off-limits.
But that pirate mentioned he'd come close to an island. Are those policies actually enforced?
They send out an official notice to stay away, and that's all. It's not like they could blockade every tiny remote island out there. So you're free to dive into the deep end if you want, but no one will come to your rescue. Hope you know how to swim.
If they could keep the demons in check, they wouldn't have to tell people to stay clear. Frankly, I think the Abbey just doesn't want to go near places like that.
In other words, these are dangerous places that the Abbey has washed their hands of.
Makes you wonder how much they can administrate these places when they're not willing to get their hands dirty.
Are there many Class 4 administrative zones?
I've heard of 10 such regions in my time working as an inspector for the Abbey, but I'm afraid I couldn't tell you their exact locations or their current status.
If the Abbey abandoned this island, it's probably safe to assume that it's getting to be pretty dangerous.
If we go there, we're gonna want to be prepared.
Demons! There's more of them! A whole band of them rampaging through Roark Forest!
There was already one dangerous demon in those woods, and now we have more! And they're still on the loose! A lot of exorcists have come to deal with them, but...
What do these demons look like?
That's what I want to know. Those Abbey people won't tell us nothing. Every time a demon comes around, it's all, show us your cargo this, and don't leave port for a while that. How are we supposed to catch any fish?
These demons really are a pain in the neck. If I was an exorcist, I'd lay down some justice, I tell ya. At the end of the day, it's not the demons or the exorcists that have it rough. It's us normal folk.
Anyway, you guys should be careful. There are demons about.
Thanks for the warning.
First mate! You're all right!
Sorry to worry you.
And the captain?
It turned out to be a fake. But now I know the real one's still alive somewhere.
Well, of course he is.
Not that he has a lot of time left.
What do you mean?
Calm down. I'll explain later.
Aizen! You stayed calm too, okay?
And you've all taken your Salatoma?
Yes, sir.
And nobody died?
All still kicking.
Compared to your curse, sir, the sickness was tiny potatoes.
All right. Then let's get ready to sail out.
Already done, sir. We're ready whenever.
The Pirate's Creed, huh?
There's worse out there.
It's too bad that wasn't the real Ifreed. But I'm glad everyone on the ship is feeling better.
Yeah. Though it sounds like they never want to touch that Salatoma stuff ever again.
What about Eleanor?
She took it too, and her face went all wow.
I don't mean how she looked. I mean how she actually feels.
Oh, well, she looks like she feels better too.
Good.
You're worried about her, aren't you, Velvet?
No, it's nothing like that.
Let me tell you something, kiddo. When young maidens ripen, they have trouble expressing their feelings.
So Velvet's ripen?
Mogilu! Quit giving Laphicet confusing thoughts.
No trouble expressing those feelings, I see.
The Abbey is supposed to exist to bring peace and order to the world. Everything the Abbey does, everything Lord Melchior and Shepherd Artorias do, it ought to be rooted in that mission. And yet, something just doesn't feel right here.
You are dismissed. That knowledge is not for you.
Something wrong? Whoa! Easy there. Just asking.
Sorry. I was just deep in thought. Is there something you need from me?
Nah. Just heard a bunch of sighs and wondered if you were feeling sick or anything.
No, I drank my Salatoma juice.
Ah. Tasted like crap, didn't it?
It wasn't that bad.
Hey.
What?
Are you afraid of demons?
No, I am not. It's more like I despise them. 10 years ago, a group of them attacked my village. They destroyed everything. And everyone.
Including your family?
Yes. The only family I had at that point was my mother. And in all the chaos, she... All I have left of her is this hand mirror she gave me. I didn't want anyone else to have to feel the way I did. And so I became an exorcist in order to destroy demons. So you can keep your pity.
Gotcha. I will then.
that?
That's called a pangyon, a type of bird native to this area.
Pangyon.
Their meat is succulent and tender, and makes a lovely stew.
Wow, what's it taste like?
You'd eat that poor thing? Savage.
You're one to talk, demon. It was one of my mother's specialties.
All right, enough of the chit-chat. Magilu, what's this grimoire friend of yours like?
Well, how do I put it? Oh. You know, like that.
Like what?
Well, to put it in a way those of meager imagination can understand, Grimm's got a sort of listless, aristocratic air about her. A noble woman in her twilight, you could say.
Huh. So you mean like a woman, but different from Velvet and Eleanor.
You're not wrong there. Tell you what, just keep an eye out for a grown woman.
Grown woman. Okay, I got it.
Well, since we got her name, we could start by asking around.
Exactly. Now you're talking. What's up, kiddo?
Magilu, you're a grown woman yourself. So why is it you have trouble clearly expressing your real feelings?
Good question. Put simply, a long time ago, mine broke. Bagow! Chapoom! Bye-bye!
Your feelings broke?
Come on. Let's question the townsfolk.
So how do you like our island? Nice and laid back, right?
It's quite a bit different from Logris.
This place was even more relaxed before the opening. But recently, a lot of our young folk have gone starry-eyed about the city and left us in the lurch.
It's still better than it was when the demons first started showing up. We have the Abbey to thank for that. And because people are traveling more now, the need for ships has skyrocketed. Our lumber industry is booming.
In other words, when the money started flowing, people let it go to their heads?
That and those exorcists and soldiers from the bigger cities, they really seemed sophisticated. People from the other islands wear different clothes and have things we don't, you know?
Getting worked up and worked over by what's trendy. Is that foolishness not the very definition of youth?
If this keeps up, our island's traditions will fade away. That's what worries me.
I understand how you feel, but you have to give young people the freedom to be themselves.
Come, sinner, and repent your wicked deeds.
Are you talking to me, perchance?
I am. You look so deeply sinful, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Now confess!
Oh, how long have I waited to bare my soul to someone? But I've always lacked the courage. Praise be to the Empyreans who have bestowed upon me this chance today!
Ah, your devotion to the Empyreans is most...
No! It is you who has captured my devotion, my darling! There's no one else I want but you!
What? Me? But my life is in service to the Empyreans.
Hush! I want you to look at me the way I look at you. Hold me, darling! Smother me in your embrace!
I don't...
Those were the kind of lines I read in a romance novel. It wasn't even that exciting a book. I wasted so many hours with that piece of trash. Please, forgive me for not putting myself to better use.
Lying! To a priest! How could you?
Oh no, I meant to confess my sins, but instead my confession was another sin! Forgive me, Father, I've transgressed once more.
I don't want to forgive you! Come, sinner, and repent your wicked...
Who? Me? I don't think I've done much that needs repenting.
No, my son, you must be mistaken. For I can tell just from how you dress that a great many sins weigh heavily upon your heart. But it's not too late for you yet. You must confess your sins and repent.
Yeah, I hear you, but I really can't think of anything.
Have you ever wielded violence?
No. All I wield are my swords.
Well, have you hurt anybody with your swords?
Yeah, but I haven't been able to land a killing blow yet. I've still got a long way to go. But the next time, I'll kill him.
No, you have it all wrong. You must repent for how you've used your swords.
Oh, I get it. I need to improve my cutting technique, right?
That's not what I meant either.
Ah, then what do you mean? It's a priest's job to guide the layman, right? You'll have to start speaking more clearly if you want anyone to trust your advice. Get your act together, man.
Yes, I'll reflect upon the error of my ways. Wait, what?
It's become common practice to use Southgan lumber for shipbuilding, but there's a reason. Our trees really are the best for it.
Natant trees only grow in Southgand. Their wood is light, tough, and doesn't rot. Perfect for shipbuilding.
You know your stuff. Long ago, before people knew how to build seafaring vessels, Midgan and Southgan were separate countries. Then our ancestors fashioned rafts out of Natant logs and floated all the way to Midgand. A Midgand craftsman, amazed to see a humble raft cross the open sea, returned with our ancestors here to Southgand.
He had used the Natant logs to build a large, sturdy ship.
Thanks to him, commerce took off between Midgand and Southgand, and the Age of Exploration began. The excitement of a new age had everyone floating on air, but within mere decades, Midgand declared war on Southgand.
Ironically enough, it was ships made from trees from their islands that enemies used to invade them.
The fighting continued for a long time, but in the end, Midgand emerged the victor. Our islands were occupied. As hard as things were, our ancestors still liked to joke about it. They'd say, Age of Exploration, more like Age of Exploitation.
When things were that bad, they could still joke about it?
Southganders have always been a cheerful bunch. We tend to look for the silver lining in every cloud. It may not seem like it these days, but Southgand used to be a place where the laughter would never cease. Some people even used to call it Shenanigand.
Shenanigand. This must have been a really fun place.
Still no leads on that grimoire lady.
Mogulo, when did you get that letter from her you mentioned?
Hard to say. It must have been last year? A decade ago?
Take this seriously, or I'll feed you to the sharks.
Oh, what? I think I'd at least rate a kraken.
Keep this up and I swear I'll eat... It's them!
The final preparations are complete. Once you've assumed your new post, everyone will act on your command.
Thank you, sister. But to be honest, I worry that these shoes I'm filling might just be a bit too big for me.
You need not worry. You possess a special strength and quality that others lack. Shepherd Artorius has high hopes for your deployment to Palamedes. Fear not. Just be yourself and you'll do fine. Believe you're a leader, and you will be.
Yes, I'll try to make you proud, sister.
They're sending him to Palamedes? Is that the name of the facility on this island?
I had better get going.
Safe travels.
Oh, one more thing. Be careful around the demon in Haria. It's stronger than it looks. We've even had some casualties.
Understood.
Also, if you must drink the water, remember to boil it.
Sister...
I know, I worry too much. But I just can't help myself.
So, there's a demon in Haria. Sounds like it's a pretty feisty one, too.
If so, it may prove useful.
Still, what magical timing for Oscar to show up here at the very same hour we do.
I understand your suspicion of me, but have you any proof?
None, it's true. But as an exorcist, you're certainly sympathetic to the Abbey's cause.
And soon you may wish we were sympathetic.
Eleanor hasn't been snitching on us. I'm sure of it.
And how would you know? Are you watching her even when she's taking a bath?
Huh? No, I don't. I always stay outside when she's taking a bath. And...
Then isn't it possible she's communicating with the Abbey in secret while you're not there?
You pledged to obey me until the day you die, correct?
Yes, that I did.
Remember, when you two trade blows, only the Abbey wins.
One less demon, and one less traitor for them to worry about.
While we're standing around here arguing, that demon could be attacking Grimoire!
It's true. Let's find some more people to question around town. So what's it really like?
Huh?
The connection between Moloch and Vessel. Do you share, like, thoughts and feelings?
Sort of. When I'm dwelling inside Eleanor, I can see what she sees and hear what she hears. But I can't read her thoughts or her emotions. Sitting in a box doesn't teach you how the box feels.
I see. In that case, I want to give her as little time alone as possible.
I don't want to bathe with her, alright?
I know. You're a boy and all. For her baths, we can send Bienfu. No, that's a bad idea. It'll have to be Magulu, or myself.
Phew!
What sort of boundaries have you and Eleanor drawn? How do you sleep?
We talk before bed sometimes, but it's not like I'm sleeping by her side or anything. It's easier for me to tell when she wakes up if I'm dwelling inside her.
Does she ever get out of bed at night?
Not in my experience. And she sleeps so peacefully.
Huh?
When she's around you guys, she always looks so stern. But when she's sleeping, her expression is... softer, you could say. She lets her hair down, too. And I think it's kinda prettier that way.
Huh. So that's what he likes. Well, keep an eye on her, but...
But?
Watch out for the older girls.
Huh? Teresa and Oscar sure seem close.
I've known them since I was an initiate, but I've never seen them quarrel, not even once.
Did you ever fight with your brother, Velvet?
Yeah, I guess I did. Sometimes I'd chew him out, and he'd sulk and stop talking to me, but I found that adorable too.
You did?
No matter how much he dug in his heels, or tried to talk like he was in charge, after a while he'd be right there trailing along behind me.
Like a little puppy dog.
Puppies are a lot more obedient. I always had to keep an eye on him. Little brothers are odd creatures.
Rokuro's a little brother. Is he adorable too?
Huh? I don't think a little brother who's out to kill you is in any way adorable.
But Shigure seemed like he was having fun.
Sometimes you just don't make sense.
Huh? I don't know.
Little brothers.
Do you have any siblings?
I'm an only child.
Well then, that's perfect. You pretend the boy is your little brother.
Huh?
That's a bit extreme, but actually, when I'm talking with Lavisette, sometimes I think, this is what having a brother must feel like.
I could be Eleanor's brother.
Don't take any of this nonsense seriously, Lavisette. Malachim are just tools to exorcists. She can never think of you as her brother.
Oh, yeah.
You're wrong. I've changed how I view Malakim. I know that's true because I can think of him as a brother.
Right.
She's all talk. Don't believe her.
It seems to me like you're the one who's treating him as a tool, by forcing your own opinions upon him.
Ooh, two sisters struggling for the affections of their brother. Eeny teeny candlestick, which one will the Muppet pick?
How about an older brother instead? Hey, this doll? It looks like Bienfu.
Ah, a keen eye you have, young man. That is a doll of the Empyrean Aminoch.
That's... Empyrean Aminoch?
Yep, no doubt about it. I've seen her with my own eyes. Real dignified, but not without a bit of a temper.
You saw her? Why was she angry?
Well, the Abbeys banned any profession of the Aminochian faith in Southgand, despite her popularity. Gotta assume that's what got her all bent out of shape. I tried talking to her, but no matter what I said, she was just like, oh.
Wait, that sounds like...
And that low-energy goddess you saw? The doll you've got here looks like her?
Yeah, more or less.
Ha! Fortune smiles upon thee, weary adventurers. That listless goddess is none other than Grim.
Grimoire isn't human?
When did I ever say she was? So, shopkeep, where'd you see her?
I think it was down by McClear Beach.
Pensively watching the tide come in? That's her, all right. Quickly, to the beach!
Why didn't you mention Grimoire as a Moloch before now?
You can't be too careful with that information. Spies listening everywhere!
This Grimoire who we're searching for is a Moloch like Bienfu, right? To be honest, I don't see how someone so different can be a Moloch just the same as Laphicet or Aizen.
I understand your doubts. It's quite the tangly mess.
I'll tell you anything!
In that case, I've been wondering, what's underneath your hat?
Oh no! Anything but that!
So, we've hit a wall already.
But that ribbon flaps around and gets in the way, right? Could I take it off for you?
No! That's not possible! You mustn't remove the ribbon!
Why not?
That's another thing I can't say!
It's all cants with you. Alright, is there anything you can tell me?
I could talk about what type of Malakim we are, or our position in the world of Malakim, or our abilities.
Oh, I'd like to know all that.
Then I will tell you. Listen closely. We Norman are a well-established race of Malakim. Compared to other Malakim, we aren't as adept at manipulating natural forces, but we excel at drawing out and heightening the abilities of others.
Think of them as a convenient power-up.
They're also known as common spirits.
Don't even say that! We Norman hate being called that.
Why is it so painful for you?
Because it makes people think we're average and unremarkable. That's why we work so hard to show how we're all different.
That does explain your quirky speaking mannerisms.
Don't sweat it. That's a perfectly common thing to worry about.
Don't say that!
What are those penguins doing?
Probably keeping their eggs warm?
Most likely. They look like a mama and a papa. Penguins are monogamous, faithful creatures. They never leave their mate. Isn't that romantic?
So they lay eggs because they're like husband and wife. But how do they make the eggs?
That's... well...
So, Laffy said, here's an interesting fact. A single penguin egg actually contains dozens of smaller orange eggs.
Oh, so their eggs must be small and crunchy.
Yep. They have the texture of caviar and the rich flavor of sea urchins.
Interesting. So they're more like fish than birds.
So you've eaten them. How cruel. Look how much they care about their young.
While it may be a bit cruel, they taste amazing. They're considered a delicacy in some circles. Top a bowl of rice with these crunchy eggs and some rich penguin thigh meat, and you get a dish called family fricassee.
That's A horrific name.
I wasn't the one who named it, okay?
Those eggs look tasty, but I think I'll pass.
Is that...
Grimoire?
She's moving away!
A dragon?
No, just a big lizard demon.
Is it friends with Brian?
Here it comes! That was a considerably powerful enemy. So she's the same sort of Moloch as Bienfu?
You're Grimoire, right? We've been looking for you. We need your help. Who are you? I'm Velvet. I know your witch friend. Oh.
Grim, so wonderful to see you.
It's been forever!
Ah, you two. Still as outlandish a pair as ever, I see.
How exactly do you know her?
Witch training? She was an upperclassman.
And?
We found this fascinating ancient tome, and we were hoping you could read it for us.
Goodness, Magilu. You, of all people, joining a team? I didn't know you had it in you.
That keep me entertained.
Well, I don't need entertainment.
Bien! Come on, Grim! Isn't there any way you can help us?
It's not the kind of thing I do.
What a shame. Things happen. Well, we tried, didn't we?
Maybe you need some incentivizing. Do it. I'm serious. I bet you are. Your eyes tell me you're dangerous. Trouble follows you like a hawk tails a rabbit. And at my age, trouble is something I'd rather avoid.
How old are you?
Ask me again and you'll get a firework in the tush.
My apologies.
It appears we've wasted our time.
A walk on the beach is never wasted, but sorry.
Well, how did you learn to read the ancient tongue? Are there books for studying it or something?
My. Are you actually thinking of learning it on your own?
Well, I love reading, and I want to learn more about history. Besides, we need what's in this book.
You have passion, child, I'll give you that.
Not to mention you want to be helpful to Velvet, don't you, kid?
Yeah.
My tuition isn't cheap, you know.
You will teach me?
No, I won't. But I admire your dedication enough to read it for you. Now where's this book?
Here it is, ma'am.
You needn't be so formal.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Not ma'am. Right.
Let's see what we're looking at. The language of ancient Averost. Had to be the hard one, of course. A lot of wear and tear, too. This'll take some time. We're in a hurry.
That may well be, but this isn't the place for study. Let's move to someplace more comfortable.
You've redeemed yourself, young man. There's a village called Haria just a little ways away.
That works. Thank you.
Fine. Haria Village. Whatever gets the job done.
I
I apologize if I'm being rude, but I have to ask. You're not Aminoch the Empyrean, are you?
Of course I'm not. What would even make you ask such a thing?
A shop in Isolt was selling Aminoch figurines that looked just like you.
Oh, that. I distinctly remember whispering to the shopkeeper in his sleep, telling him not to sell those things.
You showing up in his dreams probably only convinced him you were the real deal. You should sue for his use of your likeness and get proper compensation from that shopkeeper.
Forget it. It's no concern.
Yeah, you're right. It's not like they'd ever sell anyway.
Oh, you think a figurine of mine wouldn't sell?
You got this whole somber ennui thing going on. A figurine needs to be cute, like me.
Then how about I turn you into a product?
Me? Really?
Oh yes. I'll have you stuffed and mounted. But since it'd be a unique piece, I'd have to price it a bit higher.
Mounted? No, count me out!
Oh, you're no fun. Now, what was it we were talking about?
Whether or not you are the Empyrean Aminoch.
Ah, yes, that's right. I'm no Empyrean. I'm just a simple girl. It would be hard for anyone to worship an Empyrean like me, right?
That's true. I mean, it just seems like you're the type who can see through anything, so perhaps an Empyrean seems less intimidating from a certain point of view.
You're saying I'm scarier than an Empyrean?
Not scarier exactly, just more of a savvy sort of woman.
That's not a bad answer, but it won't get you out of the doghouse.
Haria. Isn't that the village with that demon that Oscar and Teresa were talking about?
I think it might be. We should remain on our guard.